you have the chance that going into next year, if gold prices stay high, you'll see a whole new group of investors coming into these stocks that are focused on return of capital. Rate cuts, yes, would ignite the gold price, I think, higher. I think things are weaker. I think interest rates will drop. But having said that, we also have this huge debt problem and refinancing. So, the question is, at what price will people want to buy all these bonds that the Fed or that the Treasury has to issue, and will ultimately the Fed have to be the backstop in buying those bonds? And I think that too, if that happens, that also is very good for gold.
As interest rates are cut, especially by significant amounts like 50 basis points, it can drive up the price of gold. Lower rates weaken the dollar and reduce bond yields, making gold more attractive as an alternative investment. With rising debt and the need to refinance, concerns emerge about who will buy the increasing number of bonds. If the Fed has to step in as a buyer of last resort, this further supports gold prices. Recently, there have been signs of renewed investor interest with inflows into gold ETFs, particularly in Western markets. The speaker, Trey Wasser, the current president and CEO of Gold Royalty Corporation, anticipates more Western participation in gold and gold stocks, especially if there's a pullback in the stock market. As of August 2024, Western Gold Exchange Traded Funds, ETFs, experienced notable inflows of $2.1 billion, contributing significantly to global demand. Investors today have many choices, from successful stocks to cryptocurrencies, competing for their dollars, viewing gold as a long-term investment strategy. While the economy appears weaker than it seems, further interest rate cuts are expected. However, balancing rate cuts with the significant amount of government bond issuance will be challenging, as too much of a drop in rates could make it difficult to absorb all the new debt. The speaker, Trey Wasser, notes that gold often carries a safe haven premium, which can contract after geopolitical tensions settle. Also, Schiff and Jim Rickards, in their recent interviews, discuss gold's strategic role in financial markets, highlighting its appeal during crises. Meanwhile, the recent spike in oil prices is linked to ongoing conflict. The current U.S. administration faces challenges balancing its support between Israel and a growing Muslim population, both domestically and in Europe. There's concern over whether Israel will target oil fields or nuclear facilities in its response, with a greater focus on the nuclear threat from Iran, which could be catastrophic if it develops a nuclear weapon. If you enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Only 11% of viewers have subscribed so far, and we're aiming for 1,000 subscribers. Help us reach that goal by hitting the subscribe button.
I think that, yes, I think you're going to see more Western participation. I think if you were to see a bigger pullback in the stock market, I mean, again, whether we're talking about the gold stocks or even the gold market, you just have in the marketplace today so much competition. When you talk about the gold stocks, I mean, there's a lot of stocks that are doing very well. You can own the Mag 7 and not worry about what the price of gold is doing, and whether how much competition there really is from crypto and stuff, I don't know. But there's a lot of choices out there for your investment dollars, and especially for your speculative dollars. So I think we will see rates continue to be cut, because I believe the economy is weaker, and that the job picture is weaker than it appears. And but I also think that seeing interest rates drop off too much is in the face of the amount of issuance that the Treasury is going to have to do, is going to be difficult. You always have that safe haven or a premium, which tends to always contract after things settle down. But so how much of that is built into gold price right now, I don't really know. Certainly the oil price has spiked here in the last couple of weeks based on the conflict. I mean, to wonder if the if the U.S. is involved or not. I mean, I think if you see a picture of how much of our naval fleet is in the Red Sea and around there, it's pretty safe to say we're involved. And but it's this administration is having a tough time deciding who they're really supporting, and trying to walk the Muslim population that has grown and this is not just true in the U.S., also in Europe, and that is supporting literally the terrorists by way of supporting Israel's enemies there. But I I don't know if Israel is going to respond with going after the oil fields or going after the nuclear facilities or both. But if I was Israel, I think I'd be more worried about the nuclear facilities than and if I'm going to start doing some precision bombing, I think I'd try and slow down the pace because that would be a catastrophe if Iran were to develop a nuclear weapon. Regardless of who wins, I think it's a positive for gold. I just don't see anything that is going to stop gold from continuing to rise as long as our deficits and the inflation picture continues on the path that it's on. I mean, we're seeing inflation slow down a bit now, but if you think of inflation not as a number that's published by the government, and instead, the growth in money supply. Certainly, growth in money supply has started to accelerate it again, and again, it goes back to how are they going to monetize all of this debt coming up.
In his recent interview at Commodity Culture, Trey Wasser talks about his renowned company. He says, the company has secured enough funds to cover a $1 million land payment due next spring, which will give them full ownership of the property. They have a robust exploration program in place. After going public in January, they established their core facility for processing and cutting samples, overcoming some early challenges. Now they are scaling up operations, hiring additional geological staff, and maintaining an active drilling program through the end of the year. As the company continues drilling and geological work, the project increasingly resembles Red Lake, where team members have significant experience. The geology shows similar rock types, structures, and high-grade mineralization. Trey Wasser explains his recent project features, which have 3 parallel vein structures, Big Master 1, Big Master 2, and Elora, with the current focus on the Elora vein. The system has little historical mining or deep drilling, but recent results are promising. Their latest drill hit 3,072 grams per ton of gold over 5.7 meters, the deepest and highest grade hole drilled so far, extending 250 meters down. Now, let's redirect our attention to a video.
We also raised enough money that we can squirrel away our final payment on. We've got a $1 million payment on the land coming due next spring, and so then we'll own the property at 100% and and not have any more future property payments there. So. We've got a very aggressive exploration program, and we don't anticipate having to do any more financing unless we were to be approached by a strategic investor, a corporate partner. And if that's the case, we may open up and even expand the exploration program further. But we're really And again, people don't realize we just went public in January, so we haven't even been at this a year. So we've now secured our own core facility there north of the project, south of the town of Dryden, where we're bringing in all the old historic core. We've got our own core shack and doing our own cutting of core now, and there's been some growing pains associated with putting all that together, but. We're really ramping up, looking to hire some more help on the geological side, and have a very active drill program through the end of the year. The more we drill and work geologically on this project, the more it looks like Red Lake. I mean, it's of course, Maura and Anna, both with a lot of experience at Red Lake. Maura having run the exploration program there for Goldcorp for 5 years. They really understand these rocks, and we have the same type of geometry to the geology there, the same type of rock types, the same type of dikes that are controlling the high grade mineralization, and the same 3 types of mineralization. And in the gold rock camp, we're seeing all three of those mineralization types, and we have three parallel vein structures there. We call Big Master 1, Big Master 2, and then the Elora. And right now we're focused on the Elora. We have a high grade shoot there. These systems tend to be discovered and we're lucky it's starting at surface, but these high grade shoots tend to go very deep. Our project has had very little historic mining or drilling at any kind of depth. In fact, the hole that we announced this morning was 30.72 grams per ton gold over 5.7 meters. And it was the deepest hole that we've drilled to date in this Elora structure, which is just one high grade structure that is now about 150 meters along strike. It's running 5 to 8 meters thick. And, we're down about 250 meters now with our drilling.
The economic landscape of lower interest rates, rising debt, and geopolitical tensions continue to create favorable conditions for gold as a safe haven asset. With renewed interest from Western investors, particularly in gold ETFs, and ongoing exploration of promising geological projects, gold remains a strong investment option. As discussed, companies in the gold sector are making significant progress with their exploration efforts and strategic positioning, which could further boost their market performance in the coming years. How might further interest rate cuts impact gold prices and broader market trends? What are the potential long-term effects of continued Western participation in gold and gold stocks? Do you have a different perspective or solution that hasn't been discussed yet? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you found this content valuable, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to stay informed. Thank you for being part of our journey.